Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Super duper Sunday. Super Bowl 55 edition. Views and Views live on the scene, presented by Views from the 22. I am Mo Schefter. I got Vic Jr. on the line. I got the illustrious Germ So True on the line. While I post these links on these social media streets, Germ, talk to the people, baby. Super Bowl Sunday. How you feeling?
Hey man, let's see who's hungry, who's gonna be humble, and who's gonna hustle on this Super Bowl Sunday. As you see, the merch is plentiful. We got it throughout the branches. It just is what it is. We got this man sporting the trap. He got the no beef, no Lombardi. We got the whole thing going. Now, the most interesting thing here today is that the best beef is actually the Rams. Mm-hmm. So if the Rams don't win today, then that's going to be something that people are going to try to spin back a little bit. I'm just being prepared so we can have our.
I'm prepared. You know what? I'm so glad you brought that up. It's because the frequency is here. We go off the same cell towers.
Yes.
I understand what you're saying, my brother. And we will touch on that. And I can't wait to touch on that because I'm already prepared. No matter the results, no matter the weather, I am already prepared for that narrative. But go ahead.
I'm just making sure everybody knows that when you come in with that type of energy, it's a trap. And that's just how it goes. You see what I'm saying? I mean, the innuendos and the entendres is everywhere. I'm literally Andre 3K's son. Like, we're going to speak in all entendres all show. There will not be anything but double and triple meanings to everything we will say today. All right? So when you come at Views, just remember, you have to, when you catch this wave, it's like a mermaid. You're going to have to fend for yourself. King, go ahead, Vic. Go ahead, man. Talk to these people, man.
Listen, man, first and foremost, I'm just, happy to be here, happy to make it to this Super Bowl Sunday. Excited for what we have in store for the next 6 to 7 hours. It's exciting, man. You got a young football team that built through the draft. You got a team like the Rams that basically they're leaving it all in for this year, maybe next year with all some of the moves that they've done. But the pocket quarterback is alive and kicking, fellas. Every year the pocket quarterback is in the Super Bowl, and every year the pocket quarterback is going to win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Matt Stafford, man. Like he has been incredible these last 5 weeks. Definitely proved me wrong and how he's performed under the pressure. Because, it's one thing to put up the numbers, right, fellas? 250, 300, 3 or 4 touchdowns or whatever. But the pressure throws.
Facts.
The throws and the pressure and then taking the shots in the pocket, because, again, this is a play-to-play, down-to-down sport. And what he has been able to do, for the Rams is incredible. We talk about the no beef, no Lombardi. But who holds the Lombardi at the end of the game is the quarterback. All right. So, and the quarterback is the number one most important position in the sport. So give me the better quarterback in this game. And I'll say who that is.
Already.
I'll say who that is. We'll talk about that later.
Interesting. I would be curious to see not so much who you pick as the better quarterback, but your explanation for it. I think both of these teams are here. They're deserving to be in here. I think once we dive into some of the details and some of the statistics and some of the things that we've seen just watching the games and whatnot, again, when the Super Bowl, you never know who's going to get there. But when we get there, it's like, you know what? I see why these two teams made it. And I think we have that. I think we have two very, very good teams. Are they the best teams? You have to say they are. Why? Because there really wasn't a standout favorite this season. I mean, the Packers, we just kind of, we didn't really believe in them going into the playoffs because we just knew at some point something was going to happen where they just don't play up to their expectations, as they've been doing every year for the last 6-7 years, maybe, fellas. Like for 8 years, maybe even, like, we just know at some point they're going to disappoint. The Bucks, they didn't have the energy. The Chiefs, we knew they had their deficiencies. The Bills, we knew they had their coaching deficiencies, no doubt about it. So there was really no standout favorite. And I think these two teams, because they are here, you have no choice. They are the two best teams in the NFL. And I'm excited to see what the product has for us in store today. We can start, Vic, since you already brought it up. Let's start with these two quarterbacks. You got Joe Burrow, you got Matt Stafford. You got two very interesting dynamics at play here because, number one, as we saw on Twitter earlier this week, this is Matt Stafford's first Super Bowl, right? This is the longest a first-round pick who's made the Super Bowl has gone to play in the Super Bowl. Yes. And this is Joe Burrow's first Super Bowl, which is the shortest a first-round pick, a first overall pick who makes a Super Bowl make the Super Bowl. So I think it's very unique. And I think just keep. I got you. Yeah. I got you. It's a setup. It's a setup.
Yeah.
4 bars. What, shout out to Clips. So I think that's one unique thing when we talk about. It's not about when you get drafted; it's where you get drafted, and it speaks volumes in this example. And I think when you look at Joe Burrow. Joe, me and Jay Ham was talking off screen. Cedric the Entertainer, God bless him, in the 2000s to 2010s, was probably one of, if not the funniest stand-up comedian in all the land. He has a bit about how nobody really voted for Bush. He just showed up to the White House and said, "I'm the president," and nobody really challenged him. That's kind of what's going on here with Joe Burrow. Like, the Bengals are not in their championship window just yet, and these folks just showed up to the Super Bowl and said, "Hey, we're playing the Super Bowl." Okay. Mahomes didn't stop him. Josh Allen didn't stop him. Ryan Tannehill damn sure ain't stop him. They just showed up. And then on the flip side, for Matt Stafford, he becomes the 7th quarterback. Shout out to Trav and Jay, because we didn't get this from any network or even any website. This is just a conversation that we had briefly in the pregame, and we came up with this. So shout out to Trav and Jay Ham. The brothers, we came up with this stat. He's going to be the 7th quarterback to reach the Super Bowl not in his rookie contract. The previous 6, Kurt Warner, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, and of course the GOAT. Now you got Matt Stafford, 7. So when we talk about the blueprint, no timeout, Germ. Segue. When we talk about the blueprint, we've been laying it. Go ahead, Germ.
You said Nick Foles, right?
I did not. So okay.
Nick Foles would be the other one. Nick Foles would be the other one because he was not under his rookie contract.
But he was making backup money though.
But no, correct.
Yeah,
correct.
But go ahead.
But for the principle
you got
of that argument, that'll be somebody that somebody tries to bring up against us in that argument.
Sure.
So I'm already prepared. Don't worry. Don't worry. I already got these statistics laid out. I was going to bring that up today. It was the frequency is different. But
yes.
At the end of the day, I love the fact that what we have here right now is we have a quarterback in his 2nd year, and then we had a quarterback in the last round in his 5th year of his rookie contract in the AFC. And what we had a teams that built through the draft with their quarterbacks being the main focal piece and bringing in free agents. So we show that this route works the best because it's working back even into the 90s. I mean, hell, if you look at it from that perspective, if you look at it from where a lot of these free agent quarterbacks have went over the years, you'll see that free agency is the way that you still have to go in order for you to build a franchise. It just depends on what positions you need to do to solidify your team. Now, why the Rams are different is because where they felt they needed to go was the quarterback position. And in this situation, they went and they traded for a guy. Now, mind you, they went from one number 1 overall pick to another guy. Mm-hmm. So what I talked about the last time we were on was they went and got the veteran guy instead of sticking with the young guy. So they went ahead and they said, we're going to go all in on this guy. There is nothing wrong with that. If you think that one guy is the difference maker and you getting to where you needed to get to, Now, here's the ultimate test, though. The ultimate test here is going to be, and I'm going to pass it right to Vic, is now we have two very unique situations. If Cincinnati wins today, this puts Cincinnati 3 years ahead of schedule, and it makes them immediate favorites for next year to compete for another one. Absolutely. And they just need to improve beef. So imagine if you improve your beef with the talent that you have, what you're going to be in store for over the next 5 years. And then on the flip side with the Rams, this is the second time in 4 years that you've been here. Even with Goff, you got here in a rookie contract situation. So now you went from the team that got there with a quarterback on a rookie contract to the team that's going there with the ability to say that you got a free agent quarterback. So now the whole thing is you've gotten there both times in 4 years with two different scenarios. And it shows that the scenario has worked twice in two different ways. Shouts out to Sean McVeigh. I'm going to give him credit where it's due. That is a guy who understands the innovation aspect of football. And that's the reason why he's here. Yes. It's nothing else that we need to say. We give guys their flowers when they deserve them. Sean McVay has elevated himself in the coaching conversation, and he's done the same thing in two different ways, which shows versatility. And it also shows that he knows something about what he's doing. Go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, no, one other fascinating stat that I saw there on Twitter too, Mo, was they're the first quarterbacks to meet in the Super Bowl with under 500 regular season record. They have a losing record. They both have a losing record. Yeah, they both have a losing record in the regular season, which is pretty cool too. But I was reflecting over they're both under 500 in regular season record.
Who you talk about? Matt Stafford and Jared Goff
and Joe Burrow. Yeah,
and Joe Burrow.
And games that they've played. Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Go ahead.
That's a Sports Center. Yeah. So,
ironically though, like it's one of those. These guys are not losers. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and that's what I was gonna get to. Like, reflecting a little bit on how I felt about Matt Stafford and our evaluation of him over his career. I don't think we doubted that the kid couldn't play at this level. It's just at what level was he really at? You know what I mean? So it's a perfect example of a situation where you take a player, especially at the quarterback position, and you put him on a better team, a better franchise. He won more. Now he's in the Super Bowl, and because I like to look at it as if you could play at this league, you could play at this league, regardless of what franchise you go to. The film will show if you can play at this level. And Stafford did show that he can play at this level. It's just, was he in the elite class? And I think that, even though there was some periods throughout the year where you're questioning, what he was again, I think these last 5 weeks, he has to be in that conversation for one of the top 5 to 7 best quarterbacks in this league right now, because, his play has been unbelievable. Despite that dropped interception by the 49ers that could have changed everything, obviously. The rest of his play has been flawless, and it's trying to understand at what level these guys at this position play, because it is levels to this position. It really is, and he definitely elevated his game.
He 100% did, and again, we've been talking about it all year. He's gonna go from what he was to me was the most underrated quarterback in the league, but he quickly, after some struggles, became one of the most overrated quarterbacks, and that's what happens. That's how the league works. When you are in that spotlight, you will be in that spotlight, and he certainly went to that spotlight. Go ahead, Jerm.
Now, here's something interesting too, Vic. I like what you said about them being quote unquote losers in the regular season. Joe is in a situation where he's coming to a team that he was just picked number 1 overall. Mm-hmm. Stafford went to a team where he was picked number 1 overall. So how many wins are we expecting from guys in those scenarios? Because the wins in this situation, you don't win until later. You don't win until year 2, 3, 4, when you're in these situations where you're being drafted as the number 1 overall pick. So how do you when you print a stat like that, you kind of put yourself in a situation where you're putting the quarterback in a box as if the quarterback is the issue. No, the quarterback was sent to save somebody. Should I save her? I want to be saved. Come on, if all my West Coast hip hop fans, let's go. If you don't talk about it, talk about the full picture. Like that's laziness when we just put the stat out there with no context.
Yeah, sure.
No context gives me nothing but a regular picture. The details is what make the picture spectacular or make the picture ugly. Period. So let's.
No, I mean we like it's we understand that this sport is a team sport. That's the number one thing. You know what I mean? But your quarterback is your driver, and how good of a driver is he? I mean, that's where it comes down to. How good of a driver is he? Down to down, play to play, game to game, every year. Because, like you said, like there's years where and Mo's been calling it for years. He's felt like Stafford has been one of the most underrated talents in this league. I just been kind of like, he showed some flashes, but like he said, there's some years where he was looking great, some years where he would regress. And I mean, the last 5 weeks, It showed that he has the mentality right now. And all he needs is one more fight at it to elevate his name here.
Sure. I mean, I think obviously whenever Megatron retired and I mean, the Lions kind of went through that little transition where they were trying to get weapons and his performance dropped. And that's when the narrative that was already created that he's nothing without Megatron was only elevated, but he just continued to evolve and transform his career so that he can show it wasn't deceptive what he was doing when he had that transformer out there. And so now you go to LA, you got Coop, you got a running game, you got an offensive line, you bring in Odell to replace Robert Woods. And I think we have seen these last few weeks, the performance of Odell puts him above Robert Woods. The performance of Odell and now the impact of Odell is right there really with Cooper Kupp. And I'll explain later just a little bit more why I feel that way. I hear you, but let's stick to the quarterbacks for a second. That's my bad. Let me bring it back on track. Don't worry, driver of this mission is a pro. I think so. Are we all in agreement that Joe is the better quarterback? Are we gonna say this?
The thing is right now, if you're again, because we all agree that this is a down to down week to week sport.
100%.
Right now, who is playing the best quarterback right now is Matt Stafford.
I like the way you said that. I like the way you said that.
Because if Joe was doing like the 350 with the 3 touchdowns and he's dominating, like he's playing great, but it's not like a dominant force. Then because talent wise, he's probably a better pocket passer. He probably can read the defenses better. I mean, I personally thought, remember I said it, that he was better than half the league, in his LSU year. That championship year.
I remember you said that.
said that. So like this kid has transcendent ability, I think, to take over as probably one of the best in this league. But right now, Stafford, I gotta give him credit, bro. He's I mean, he's playing outstanding football. Like I said, I want to see how you perform under pressure.
Jeremy, you got something you want to add, sir?
Vic, I love the way that you're being so appreciative of Stafford. But let's bring that down just a little bit. He is in a situation where he's not asked to have to do some things that some of these other quarterbacks are having to do. He does have the perfect complementary cast for him to be able to be himself. He has a team that can turn people over. He has a team that can get quick twitch pressure with some of those quick twitch athletes that we talk about. He has a lot of things that worked well for him on Sundays. So when we see him in a situation where teams are getting pressure because they're confusing him, these are things that we seen in the Bucs game a couple of weeks ago. He almost let that slip out of his hand. It was almost, he tried to Detroit that mug. At the end of the day.
Wait, was it really him?
Here's the thing. Jeremy's point.
I'm gonna explain this.
Go ahead.
Because we got some throws in that game as we're coming down the stretch that he's completing in the first and second quarter that he's not completing in the fourth quarter. And that's what it is with Matt Stafford. He is the joker. He's the wild card because he can throw for 300 yards in the first half, and then the second year half come out and throw for 50. And that's just some of the things that we see from him because he still is, what is he? A nice, big-armed quarterback who has a lot of in-game intangibles that make him able to translate and be on an elite tier. But the consistency is what keeps him away from what? The elite tier.
The elite tier.
And that's all it is. So give him credit, absolutely. But there are some things there that I think Cincinnati can attack that will make this interesting today. Because if we get to that, if we get into some of these situations that he's been in these past couple of weeks, he might throw 7 for Cincinnati.
Yeah. And to your point, watching that game against Tampa, there was a time where I said it was in the fourth quarter, and I think it was after a 2nd and 9 on the Rams side of the football. It was early. It was like the second possession of that drive after the Bucs had punted away, and it was so the Bucs ended up because the Bucs didn't necessarily just keep scoring. They scored. And then they got the ball back, and then they punted, and then that drive afterwards, he missed a couple throws, and it was like, okay, this is 2 positions in a row now that you're missing these throws. And I said to myself, if the Rams lose that game, the narrative next Monday morning is going to be, did Matt Stafford choke that game away? And there been a pretty damn good case against him, but obviously he made 2 huge throws, and it was just,
that's what I'm saying. Like, in the playoffs, because people talk about how Brady has thrown a lot of interceptions in the playoffs. I mean, I think he's now the leader in terms of interceptions in the playoffs all time. Obviously, because he's played in so many games. But it's when you make certain plays is what elevates you, to me, in my opinion. Like that throw at the end of the game. I mean, with somebody getting ready to drill him into the ground and he's making that throw. I mean, that's taking your game to another level. We've seen somebody else that we're not going to name right now, miss these throws, miss these wide open guys under pressure, high pressure, situations. You know what I mean? So again, it's when do you show up for your football team when the time is right for you to win the football game. And I think Matt Stafford has put himself in that category there.
No, I agree. No, I completely 100% agree. Now let's real quick. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. I saw Tanya in there. I saw Jorge in there. Trav's in there. J Ham in there. Just let's briefly touch on these coaches, fellas. Obviously, they got a history together. They were assistants together. And then Zach Taylor was assistant to Sean McVeigh in LA. Now he's the head coach. I, for one, have been highly critical of Zach Taylor. I think you guys would remember there's been plenty of times this year where I was ready to pull the plug on Cincy. To tell you the truth, I've picked against them every game during this postseason because of Zach Taylor. But he is, you got to give him credit. He's the head coach of this team. As much as we talk about Joe Burrow and everything, he's still the head coach of this team. So you do have to give him credit. But like Jerm talked about with Sean McVay, I mean, he is at the forefront of innovation and modern NFL offenses. And it's not gimmicky. It's not a gimmicky 2 quarterbacks on the field, or I'm going to switch this person out, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to put all these different guys in motion and do all these college formations. No, it's an actual professional modern offense that has constantly evolved based on the personnel, which is what the best coaches do. I'm going to run that back. This offense has progressively evolved based on the personnel, which is what the best coaches do. Shout out to our brother, Coach Les, Coach MJ, and all the coaches in under the scene umbrella. But I think they would attest to that. It is the coach's job to put their players in a position to succeed. And I think when you look at Sean McVay, he is at the top of that list behind maybe only Bill Belichick. I mean, that's why I think personally for me, I don't really have a preference in terms of who's going to win this game from the player's perspective.
Yeah.
But if I have to say who am I rooting for today, I'm going to be straight honest. I'm rooting for Sean McVay. As much as I would love to see Joe Burrow win it. Yes, I'd love to see Aaron Donald get one, or Jalen Ramsey, or any you name them. But if who am I going to root for if I had to pick one, it would be Sean McVay because of everything that he's done in his tenure with the Los Angeles Rams. This is his second Super Bowl appearance. So Zach Taylor versus Sean McVay. Give me your thoughts, Vic.
I mean, obviously Sean McVay right now is probably the, like you said, the better of the coaches in terms of innovation, in terms of how he was able to learn some of the, things that he learned previously under the West Coast tree and stuff like that, the spread, the mesh concepts, the deep overs and stuff like that. So you got the different levels, right? You got the mesh concepts in the short level, intermediate level with the deep overs, crossers and stuff like that. So, it's going to be interesting to see how they cover Cooper Kupp because he excels a lot with those deep overs. If you see his route chart, there's a lot of routes crossing, the middle of the field at every level, Jerm. So, how the Bengals come out covering him, whether they bracket somebody underneath and over the top of him while giving one-on-one against Odell on the outside is going to be interesting. But Sean McVay, some of the things that he does with the cutting across the field, but also pre-snap and stuff like that is outstanding to me. Zach Taylor, the wide zone concepts that he has with the running game and stuff like that, and some of the spread concepts in the passing game. I don't know, Mo, but it seems like for me this year, especially during the playoffs, they've come, a lot more prepared, but also a lot more adjustments in the second half. Because defensively, if you watch the film against the Chiefs, defensively what they did, and shout out to the defensive coaches, of course, how they adjusted to the Chiefs style of play, crossing in the middle of the field like that, and the same way with Tyreek Hill, they adjusted a lot to that, and I think that if they could come with the same discipline against the Rams, they're gonna have a real serious chance at winning this game and slowing them down defensively.
Absolutely, Jeremy, your thoughts on this?
Well,
talking about Sean McVay and Zach Taylor.
We talked about this when we talked about some of the route tree stuff with Cooper and some of the stuff when we compared it to Chase. Like the thing that I like about the Zach Taylor thing, because I was critical of him as well, and I remember saying at the beginning of the playoff run, it's gonna be if he lets his players be players, and he's gonna step back and step out of the situation. And looking at the situation from this scenario, I want to see if I'm Cincinnati, I'm in a certain spot. I'm in a spot of if I come out, I know that I've only given up 300-yard rushers all year, and I've lost every game that I've given up a 100-yard rusher. I know if I'm Cincinnati, I have been giving up a whole bunch of guys getting 9 and 10 catches on me. Mm-hmm. You got people like Adam Thielen, another great route runner. Devontae Adams, another great route runner. Players like that are getting 10 and 9 and 10 and 11 catches on them are players that are exceptional at running every route. These are guys that are going to get quick separation. They're going to get they're going to get open down the field in a variety of different ways. This is why Zach Taylor is going to show us if he is the guy moving forward. And I'm going to say this now. Cooper is the best combination you're going to see between Adam Thielen and Devontae Adams. These are guys that are not going to beat you with speed. They're going to beat you with precision.
Yes.
If you know that this guy's going to beat you with precision, the deep overs is something that they're going to do, the quick outs and all those different things, how are you going to have your corners play this? I'm going to allow you to do certain things with Odell because I'm going to squeeze Odell. I'm going to make him, if you're going to go down the field, I'm going to bump you until you can't be bumped anymore, and I'm going to take you out of that comfort zone. That's what we're going to do there. But when it comes down to the other part of this game, when it comes down to making sure that you're defensively, that you're able to contain the things that the Rams do well, I'm willing to give you what? I'm willing to give you 5 yards on first down if it means that Cooper Kupp isn't getting 10 yards. You got to make adjustments.
Yeah, I agree. I think
want to see what's going to happen there. Go ahead, Mo.
To your point about Odell, and let's kind of keep the conversation going here since we're here. If I'm Sean McVay, right, I want to come out this game, and when I watch the tape, I want to know that Odell caught at least 6 balls over the middle of the field. And I say that because, yes, you can very easily push him, squeeze him to that boundary and eliminate all threat to him. We know that is one of the criticisms of Odell. Now, if you press and then you miss, say your prayers. But I think when you look at the Chiefs last week, a lot of success came from Tyreek Hill going across the middle of the field. And if you look over the course of the season, teams generally, for the most part, are having success throwing over the middle of the field against Cincy for various reasons. Biggest reason that if you had to point out one major weakness to this defense, it would be that linebacking core, especially with Akeem Davis-Gaither, young player. He's been on IR since about week 9, week 8, if I remember correctly. So absolutely, Cooper Kupp is the best wide receiver on. I almost said on the field today. I almost said it. I almost uttered blasphemy on these airwaves. Cooper Kupp, though, is definitely the best player, the best wide receiver for the Rams. But Odell is still that he's got that superstar aura. You know, I know that sounds crazy, but Cooper doesn't have that superstar aura. He's a killer. Don't get it. He's a killer. But Odell has that superstar aura. And the fact that he's producing, and all of a sudden now it's going to expand how you have to defend this offense. And I think what leads to the other point is going to open up some opportunities in the run game. And a key factor here, the Rams, number one, just activated Darrell Henderson from IR, which means all 3 of their running backs, I believe for the first time all year, are all playing, are all active, are all healthy and ready to go against a defense that's giving up about 6 yards per carry. Super Bowl prop bet, time of possession, something to look out for.
Yeah.
Over under on this game. Let's get into it. Over under this game is 48.5. The Bengals, 4.5 point underdogs, fellas. At 4.5, that line has kind of been flirting all week. I thought personally that it was gonna by game time, it was gonna be at 3.5, not 4.5. It kind of stayed at 4 for a little while, but now it moved up to 4.5, which to me, that's obviously Vegas just going along the bets and making sure that Vegas stays Vegas, baby. As far as the injury report is concerned, for the Rams, Tyler Higbee is out. He is the only player that will miss this game. CJ Uzama for the Cincinnati Bengals, tight end as well. He will be playing. He is questionable. He was damn near doubtful all week, but he was listed as questionable, and the final report came in that he will be playing. As we talked about, Darrell Henderson has been active. We don't like to talk about would have, could have, should have, but if you want to talk about 2 players who are on IR from both of these teams, Larry Ogunjobi, he would have been useful for the Bengals in this one, and then Jordan Fuller, the safety, would have been useful for the Rams. A couple keys for me in this one. We've been talking a lot, so let me just give a couple keys, and then we'll go around the horn and wrap up our pregame show. We got a postgame pregame show that we will stay live. We'll talk about food. We're going to talk about trivia. We're going to talk about some facts. We're going to talk about all kind of good stuff. So make sure you stick around. If you want to jump on the show, send me a message, send Jeremy a message, send Vic a message, put it in the comment section. We will send you the YouTube link. So a couple keys to this game. The Bengals, the third down defense has improved big time in the playoffs. If this was a regular season, they'd be at about in the top 10 right now, which is major. But like we said, a big problem for them is at 6 yards per carry on the run game. For the Rams on the defense, they have improved their run defense double. They were giving up 100+ yards per game. During the regular season, they've been giving up 54 yards per game. And the most impressive performance, arguably, came against the Bucks, even though, the Bucks had to throw a lot. Leonard Fournette still got the ball 13 times, and they did a fairly good job of not allowing him to break away anything major. However, a weakness for the Rams defense, they are 9th in the NFL in missed tackles. And the Bengals are successful when their screen game is successful. It's not like a black and white thing. It's a very generic thing to say. I understand that, but it just highlights that the screen game for the Bengals is very, very important to their offense. And the fact that the Rams struggle with tackling could be a big one in this game. And then lastly, a lot coming at you right now. Lastly, both these teams have given up top 3 300-yard games this season. The Bengals 7 times, the Rams 6 times. Final point, and then I'm going to toss it over. Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is, to me, the biggest factor in this game today, because I think for the Bengals to win this game, they have to play it on their terms. They have to be in control of the game. If they are not in control of the game, I don't know how this young team will react, because the Rams are the most experienced team, not just Super Bowl wise, just football wise. They are the most experienced football team, obviously. So if the Bengals don't have control of this game, it's going to be very, Josh Storm's going to be shaking his hand a lot during this game. Shout out to our brother Josh Storm. So real quick about Joe Mixon. There was a point in the season from week 8 to week 14 where the Bengals went 2-4. Okay. And the 4 games that they lost, Joe Mixon's stats, I think I got it somewhere over here. 14 carries, 33 yards. 13 carries, 64 yards. 19 carries, 54 yards. 18 carries, 58 yards. One of those was against the New York Jets. That's from week 8 to week 14. That is a huge part of the season where usually teams are put in an identity to themselves. In the 2 games that they won, however, Joe Mixon, 30 carries, 123 yards. The other one, 28 carries, 165 rushing yards. Joe Mixon needs to be a major, major factor. And as much as we love Chase, as much as T. Higgins can give you some explosive plays and all that good stuff, is to me, it's going to start and end with Joe Mixon. What will the conversation be about Joe Mixon post-game is going to be a big part of whether the Bengals win or lose this game. Germ, give me your keys, and let's go around the home view.
The Joe Mixon thing is perfect, and I'll just say this as well. Even if he doesn't get the 30 carries, 30 touches is a good thing. Touches means something for running backs, especially 100%. The ones utilized in the screen game and outside of the actual formation. You can use him and line him up everywhere in the formation, every receiver position, wherever you want to put him. So this is the time that you have to use that to your advantage. Listen, man, Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey is must-see TV because you have one of the most physically gifted corners that we've seen in this league going up against one of those guys who, like Odell, I call him Odell Landry. I call him Odell Landry because he has Jarvis Landry's ability to run routes, understand leverage, understand when to sit down, no wasted motion in the things he's doing, with Odell's explosiveness in the same frame. And that is what you want out of a receiver that's going to be under 6 feet. If you're going to get a receiver that's under 6 feet, me and Vic talk about it all the time. You want a guy like that, a guy like Steve Smith, those guys who it doesn't matter how you play them, they're going to get theirs regardless because they're just that damn good.
Facts.
I like everything that you said there as well. I mean, for me, the Rams is really like, and man, if the Rams establish the run, it's going to be a long afternoon. Like,
Agreed.
I love what Burrow and them can do, but bro, we still got to make sure we understand, like, these are still babies. Cincinnati is still babies. Yep. So we don't know what they're literally young Bengals. They're Cubs right now. So we don't know how they're going to react in the big stage. But I'm telling you this because I feel it in my heart. I'm unsure of how Matt Stafford is going to react to the Super Bowl stage.
I knew Somebody was gonna say it, and it just had to be you.
Yes,
it wasn't going to be me.
I mean, but he's not wrong though, Vic. He's not wrong.
What you mean, bro? He's been on fire under pressure the last 5 weeks.
But Vic, listen.
Super Bowl is a little different.
You got to go back after we jump off this show, or after the pregame show is actually over and we're still on the live. We got to pull up these couple sequences in that Bucks game. Let me tell you something. I'm sorry. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and we are going to start a tradition where every Super Bowl we're going to talk about Tom Brady, or maybe every other Super Bowl, because he made the Super Bowl every other year of his career. Anyways, Tom Brady decided he didn't want to play football in Tampa no more about week 17 and a half. Okay, that's when he decided he no longer wanted to play football for Bruce Arians, because if he did. Had he truly been undecided, they'd have won that game, because there was plays made, and you turn on to Tom Brady, and he's like, God damn it, man. Y'all really don't want to beat me today, huh? And then when the game went final, he smiled. When have you ever seen Tom Brady smile in a loss? Okay, so if we go back to that sequence, listen, if they lose this game, we are going to talk about this Buck sequence over and over, because it's going to rear its ugly little forehead. Whoever just
Ron, is Ronnie on here? Ron,
I don't know. Somebody was trying to come in. Whoever was just trying to come in, I'm sorry. Come back in. Just make sure you're on mute.
I think it was Ty. Anything that says iPhone in it is probably Ty.
It's probably Ty.
But what that being said, though, I just had to say that because I want to see what happens. It's even stretches in the 49ers game, Vic, where I'm like, we don't know how he's going to perform. So I'm not saying that I'm rooting against him. I'm saying I'm just a little. I have questions, and it's in this situation.
This is what I mean. Like, we had questions on, because as much pressure as they were getting on Tom in the first half, there was some throws that he would have taken back himself, right?
Sure.
Pat Mahomes was awful second half last week. God awful second half. Rodgers, we don't even need to discuss that.
No.
Okay. Joe has been probably the most consistent. Hasn't dominated, but has been the most consistent probably, right? So when we put in Stafford and how he's performing under pressure significantly, to me, is like, he's ready for this moment. It's not just 1 week or the second playoff game. It's been for a good 5-week stretch. He's been playing under pressure. But for me, I think that the Rams offensively, I think that their rhythm, being in a quick in a fast rhythm, is going to be important for them. The Bengals, like I said, did an outstanding job last week on bracket coverages and stuff like that. So I think rotating their linebackers was something that they did a lot of last week, especially for that underneath coverage. So, I think that the Rams are going to come with a fast-paced offense. And then with the Bengals, the opposite. They're going to have to slow it down. Using Joe Mixon would be great, because to me, that Samaje Perine screen pass was kind of the turning point in that game against the Chiefs, when that you could tell that offense started to kind of pick it up. And get some confidence in them. So, screen passes to the running backs, whether it's Joe or Samaje, is going to be important. And like you said, 25 to 30 touches for those running backs would be great, whether it's running the ball or in a passing game would be great for the Bengals to kind of slow that pass rush down. So like I said, fast-paced offense for the Rams, slow pace for the Bengals to win this game, I think is going to be telling. And if that defense for the Bengals comes in with that same discipline that they had last week in the second half, they might be able to keep their offense in this game.
Sure.
One more thing, real quick, too, Vic.
Yeah.
I don't know. We talked about it briefly. Trey Hendrickson making the conversion to being a full-time starter has been significant for them.
Yep.
The Bengals have two positions locked up. They have the quarterback position locked up, and they got a free agent pass rusher locked up now. So you have your right end and you have your quarterback.
Yes.
Two of the premium positions are locked. And what you did with your secondary is you did it by committee by getting Jesse Bates and Von Bell.
Bro, they were outstanding last week. They just the perfect complement to each other. And I remember we talked about that when Von went there from the Saints. I didn't think the Saints should have let him out the building. And I mean, Jesse and Von Bell together has been incredible.
Yep.
You just got like Cincinnati has a lot of good things going for them. So for them to be here right now, it's surreal, bro.
It is.
And one important play was that fumble that they caused on Pat, that they had to kick a field goal. Sam Hubbard was playing this quarterback spy in that play, and then he decided that you got Pat dancing in the pocket. He decided he will take off after him, So and they don't have to do a quarterback spies on Stafford. So if they could get that pass rush now going against him, with that secondary playing as disciplined as they were and those safeties, they have a shot at this game. They really have a shot at slowing down this offense too. I think just real quick, I think one of the reasons why they don't blitz so much is because they're just not comfortable with their linebackers. And I'm talking about both teams. Their linebackers are not very good blitzing. So sure. That's another good thing that you just brought up, that 5-2 that the Rams are doing. They're showing a blitz, but what that does is helping Aaron Donald get some more one-on-one matchups and stuff like that, because he will be doubled and triple team. But if some of the way they maneuver, some of these guys showing a blitz, it's gonna get him some one-on-one matchups right off the snap. Right. So that's just what we're looking at here for these defenses. But go ahead, we're gonna make our picks now.
So
it's cooking time.
Jeremy, any last points before we move on? So we got two choices here, fellas. We could make our picks, or we could end the show, end at least the pregame show, bring on the guests, get into the fun part, even though the lab is obviously the funnest.
Well, what we'll do is let's make our picks then right now, and then we can.
All right. So before we make our picks, okay, non-Super Bowl possible MVP, non-quarterback MVP from both teams. Vic, you go first. So if the Rams win,
so both names.
Yeah, from each team.
I'm glad you're gonna let me go first because I'll take Jamar Chase and Cooper Kupp. I know Jerm was gonna go with Jamar, so
all right,
you got to pick somebody else.
You got to pick somebody else,
Jerm. A couple of weeks you did it to me.
I think my picks are safe regardless.
Hey, man, first of all,
it has to be Cooper and Jamar, dog. So if it's not a quarterback for me,
I just want you to know that you're a floozy. With that being said, I'm going to go with give me Joseph Mixon. And give me, you know what? I'm going to go unconventional. Give me Aaron Donald.
Oh, you have a dirty. So who'd you say?
I got Joe Mixon and Aaron Donald.
Who's gonna take it?
Joe Mixon and Aaron Donald. Okay. I am gonna go with. You said Jamar Chase. You said Joe Burrow. Damn, y'all.
No, Jamari Cooper.
Okay, so I'm gonna go T. Higgins just to say somebody, and then I'm gonna go with two-time Super Bowl winning MVP, Mr. Von Miller himself. Picks. I'll go first. I'm just gonna go first. I think this is gonna be a great game. I'm hoping it goes 4 quarters. I think there will be points scored, no doubt about it. But I also think defenses will be important. I also think defenses will be impactful. One of the most complete games I've ever seen in my entire life was Super Bowl 49 between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Final score of that game was 28-24. I'm going to go with the same thing. Give me 28-24 Rams. Rams. Give me the Rams. 28-24 Rams. Germ?
I'll go next. So, as I said, I think the Rams are the better team. I think the Rams have the better running game. I think that the running game is going to be the big part of this. I don't think Cincinnati can really contain the run for 4 quarters, bro. I mean, it's to the point, too, where I think that Matt Stafford can have a really, really average game and let the team carry him to victory. So with that being said, I'm taking the Cincinnati Bengals to win the game because I think Joseph Burrow has arrived on the scene, and Joey B. I just want people to understand that the pocket quarterback, the best quarterback in the pocket, may he win on Sunday to continue the trend of the quarterbacks that stay in the pocket, win in the pocket. Because guess what? At the end of the day, man, it's a hot pocket, and it's a lot of things that go on in there. And the person who stayed in the best was to be the person. Give me Cincinnati by a score.
Yeah.
24 to 16.
Wow.
I think it's 40 points scored in the Super Bowl. I don't think it's a high scoring game. I think running the ball is going to be that much of this game.
Yeah. I mean
24-16. Give me a classic game. I'm talking field goals, big 4th down stops, great defensive back play, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I think to your point, and it's something I wanted to mention earlier before I let you go, Vic. If Joe Burrow, if he wins this game, his career projection if he wins this game, will surpass, I don't know why it came out that way, surpass Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees. And yes, I said it. Because Patrick Mahomes has already surpassed that projection. And so, yes, Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes would be in the same class if he wins this game. That's all I'm going to say. I ain't even going to be extra with it.
All right. Well, in the beginning, I talked about, who I was going to choose as the best quarterback, right? And I said that Matt was playing the best quarterback right now, okay? But to me, Joe is the better of the two at the moment. Obviously, his career projection shows that he can reach some elite tiers, ever since his last year in LSU. So with that being said, Matt Stafford is also a pocket passing quarterback. He has passed under pressure, okay? And he has been outstanding these last 5 weeks under pressure. And because of that, I will be picking the Rams to win this game.
Oh!
I will be cheering my ass off for the Bengals. Believe me, Joshua Storms, I love you. But I'm trying to be as objective as possible. I think the Rams will have enough. Matt Stafford will play the best game of his career, and the Rams will win this damn Super Bowl.
Hey,
as much as I want the Bengals.
Fall back. Get the up of my face.
Hey, listen. So that wraps it up. We appreciate everybody who's tuned in all year to all our shows. So that we will be doing obviously a Super Bowl post game, if not tonight, which me and Jerm do it every year. definitely tomorrow. We appreciate everybody who's tuned in all year long. Post-game, pre-game is officially kicking off after a 10-second word from our sponsors, and then Germ will take over as the quarterback. You're watching The Scene live on YouTube, presented by Ball U University.
Well, with that being said, now that that's out the way, it's time for the remix.
Yo.
So look, first of all, appreciate all the viewers, appreciate everybody rocking throughout the year. Of course, we know what time it is. We can discuss a couple of things. Everybody, if y'all like sir, let your hair down, get nice and pretty. We got April, we got First Lady. My homeboy Johnny is here as well. When you get a chance, brother, you can come on camera as well. Hey, man, look, we've had a crazy year, y'all. Crazy.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with the ladies. April, I'm going to start with you. What is your biggest takeaway from this season? Not Raiders based.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. There wasn't really any big takeaways for me. This season was nuts. It was crazy. It has nothing to do with the Raiders. It has nothing to do with anything. It was a crazy season. It was a great season. I'm going to actually miss it. And my 13-year-old is freaking out because football's about to be over. She's in this transition where she's back into football again. And she's like, Mom, what am I going to do when football's over? I'm like, you're going to be with the rest of us. You're going to watch the draft. You're going to have to wait till July. So there was not really any big takeaways. I was a little disappointed in Aaron Rodgers this season, but
that's every year.
It is what it is. Other than that, man, football has been crazy this year. I cannot wait for this game tonight. I'm like sitting here and time is just going so slow. So yeah.
Got you. So to your point right there with views from the 22, when we do our draft boards, we can use all the junior scouts that we can bring to the table. So I'm here for it. First Lady, I got to ask you, what is something that you can take away from this year? Because honestly, first of all, congratulations. Your boy won Defensive Player of the Year for the first time.
Yes.
TJ Watt, he finally got his first Defensive Player of the Year. Well deserved. But what are some of your takeaways from this season?
To be honest, the only thing I really took away is we need better refs.
Okay. Go ahead. Speak. Go ahead. Take care of that. Go ahead.
Because truthfully, you can't really put a game on the refs, but there have been some serious calls this season. Like, I would take the replacement refs back because, some of the calls that I've seen this season have just been. I've seen more bad calls this season than I have ever, and I'm 40. So it's been crazy to me.
Absolutely. And this right here, this brother right here, this is a good friend of mine, man. He's down. He with the SH with it, with everything else like that. My boy Johnny. So hey man, what are some of your takeaways from this season, man? We had a brief conversation about it, and then now you get a chance to put it on the air, man.
Oh man, it was as a Browns fan, it was rough. But as a fan in general, though, as a fan in general, man, it was a great season. It was a lot of fireworks. It was a lot of unexpected teams coming out of nowhere. You see Tennessee keep it going after Derrick Henry went down. The Bengals winning the division when everybody thought they was gonna be the worst team in it. So it was a good season, though. I'm looking forward to next season. With all the rumors going on, see what gets shaken up.
What you looking forward to most next season?
That quarterback arms race, that veteran quarterback arms race. I think that's
free Deshaun. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
I want to see who take that leap. Who was really serious or just trying to ruffle feathers.
Facts.
So here's something interesting. We'll throw this around everybody while we're sitting here, kicking it.
We're just kicking it.
I want to ask you guys how you guys feel about that, because I have mixed feelings about it. So basically, Kyler's unfollowed the Cardinals, made it clear he's unhappy with the Cardinals. He made it clear that he would probably like to move on from the Cardinals. I mean, personally, Mo, you heard me say this before. I said that they offensive coordinator / head coach is a gimmick. I think it's not conducive for winning football moving forward. I think the air raid concepts are good when you put them with the right offense and the right type of talent. But I don't think Nuke and I don't think AJ Green fit what the air raid is because of the type of receivers that they are at this stage in their careers. I think you have guys that can stretch the field vertically, but that's not what the team does best. I think you also need to improve your beef, at least in the interior. These type of quarterbacks put so much pressure on their tackles because they drop back so far. Yeah. It's hard to bring in veteran tackles because you don't have the ability to hold blocks in this NFL the way some of these other guys are. Unless you get a Bakatari, unless you get a Trent Williams, you're not getting guys that are going to be able to hold their own against these pass rushers. So what do you guys think about the Kyler Murray instance? Mo, I'm actually going to start with you because I think it's interesting, and then I'll kind of move around the horn from there.
Well, number one, I love that we are alive when we are alive, okay? Because only in this era will we get this type of drama. And like Ronnie pointed it out, you got beef, just unfollow. You don't gotta say nothing. You don't gotta do like T.O. and do sit-ups in the driveway. All you gotta do is click unfollow, and boom, it's a media circus. So I think that's the first thing that's intriguing to me. On the second part, according to the reports, the reason for Kyler Murray's unhappiness is he feels like he's being the scapegoat. These are his words, apparently, according to these rumors. This is something I found out like 2 hours ago, so I haven't got a chance to read and verify and see where it's all coming from. But if there is validity to that, Kyler, man up a little bit here. Like, you do have blame in this. You are the quarterback. It starts and ends with you, and you could have played better. I will also say this. You will hear me talk about this quote in almost every facet of my life. Attitude reflects leadership, Captain. And I think Kyler Murray needs to take a good, long look in the mirror about accountability and his body language anytime the Cardinals were in the mud. Like, it's okay to get frustrated. It's okay to throw water bottles and break tablets and all that stuff. And, throw down the Gatorade bottle. Like, it's okay to do all that. If your body language looks just, man, what we gonna do? Like, at least if you throw in water bottles and cussing and doing all that, at least you showing me passion. You showing me fire. And with Pat, it was almost like if they're in the mud, then he shrinks and he's already small. That's number two.
Kyler. You said
what
Pat.
I say? I don't know why I said
you
Pat.
Said
I'm sorry,
Pat.
Pat. I love you, Pat. And number three for Kyler.
Okay, bro, it's okay because Pat shrunk in a moment too. He was never mind. Go ahead.
Hey, don't give me slander on Pat. All right, Pat's done enough. Pat's done enough early in his career where he gets a little pass here and there. But for Kyler, the third thing is, dude, you have a lot you need to improve on as a quarterback. Like, so don't come out here. You're not on the Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson level yet. You may not even get there. We don't know if you're going to get there. So don't come with like you have the same arsenal that these guys do. But that's just my thoughts on it.
I'm gonna say this. Kyler's biggest deficiency is he's 5'8". Right. He looks like a regular man standing in the middle of Manhattan. That's what he looks like when he's in the pocket. So imagine that being around him consistently. It's hard to see over the lineman. And Mo, we talk about this when we scout and when we draft and we do all this other stuff. These players aren't getting smaller. They're getting taller. We just now first seen our first 6'4" left tackle that sustained great play at left tackle, and that was Rashawn Slater. We just finally seen it. Mo, we're seeing 6'5" guys with long reach and everything else. So it's a lot of stuff that goes into that. So I'm actually going to take a different route here. I'm going to go to my homeboy Johnny first, and then I'm going to go out to the ladies, and then I'm going to come back to the fellas. So Jay, what do you think, for your perspective? What did you think when you seen the report of Kyler Murray?
I was a little confused at first. I mean, because outside of maybe putting some more work towards the offensive line, they kind of did their best to surround him. They got Hopkins for him.
Facts.
You got the running back from Pittsburgh. What's his name?
James Conner.
Conner.
AJ Green.
AJ Green. JJ Watt for the defensive end. Zach Ertz. So they surrounded you with weapons. They bolstered the defense, and it looked like when Hopkins went out, he went out too.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Like it was like he couldn't get the ball to anybody else. I mean, he got the ball to Ertz for a little bit, but once they covered that up, he was lost. Like, and he cracked under pressure. That Aaron Donald got to him, he couldn't handle it. And for you to be that fast, you should at least be able to buy you some time and make something happen. But I was a little shocked. I don't know.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. My bad.
I mean, outside of lineman help, I don't know what else more they can do.
I mean, hey, they can get us some high heels.
But to your point though, Johnny, like champions are motivated by pressure. Like you become a champion by the pressure. If that wasn't the case, then anybody who checks all the scouting notes boxes will win a championship. And that's just not football. That goes to basketball. That goes to baseball. That goes to all of it. Like there is still a human element to it all. Go ahead, Jerm, because I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Watch this. And then I'm gonna swing it, right? Because I'm gonna go Tanya. Because Tanya right there, Tanya and April are near this, so they can attest to what I'm getting ready to say. This man went to Oklahoma, bro. Oklahoma got some of the biggest humans I've ever seen in front of a quarterback.
Yeah, facts.
And in that game, I seen Kyler running from the offensive line. What are you talking? No, absolutely not. We're not doing that. Access denied. Go, Tanya. Now, you could tell me, or say that I want you to be honest. Have we not seen that Oklahoma line had like 5 dudes that was at least 6'5"?
Every year we scout, we do. Every year.
I don't know what to say. So do you guys have anything, Tanya, you got anything you want to add to that about the Kyler Murray situation? Anything you want to add?
To me, y'all know how I feel about whining. So I feel like I'm not trying to hear it. Like I don't have no, y'all know how I feel about whining. Stuff. So I don't want to hear it.
And stuff. April, do you have anything you want to add?
I'm just wondering when I saw that he, deleted all his stuff from his Instagram, and I was like, wow. I don't know if they put him on this really, really, really tall pedestal, and he just was like, thought he was just gonna just go in and just be the greatest quarterback ever, because I think they hyped him up a little bit too much. I'm not a fan of Kyler Murray. I just don't see him getting far in the NFL. That's my opinion. And he proved it through the season. I mean, he like you said, he has all the weapons, and he just didn't utilize it, and he didn't utilize his time. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, if he's gone, he's gone.
Absolutely. I understand. Like, I think what the criticism here is fair, because you have to ask yourself, how many people get to play with Nuke?
Well, aside from 32 Houston Texans slaw-ass quarterbacks, not many.
Go ahead. Hey, Ham. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, big bro.
Oh, what they said. What they said. I mean, because look, you can't be in that position and be that bitch made. And I'm not censoring that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just straight up. You cannot be in that position that he's in and act the way that he's acting in this fashion. That's real poor leadership, so hopefully for him, he get it worked out, but April said it best. I mean, you had all the weapons, bro. Y'all named Y'all named a list of dudes that if you were gonna create a team like on Madden, yeah, I'm fucking with him.
You
I'm
would
fucking with
pick
him.
every last
Yeah,
one
come
of
on him. Right, yeah.
What the
And
only
Zach
thing
Ertz being the biggest one now. Like I know everybody
Right.
talks about Nuke,
And that
but
was
Zach,
mid-season.
and that was mid-season.
That was this season, right?
Hey, you want to some? Hey, y'all want to? This about to mess y'all up too. The part of this that makes it even worse is Zach Ertz actually plays better outside the numbers than the rest of their receivers. So you can flex
Right.
him.
I
And
had him on my
move.
fantasy. I know for sure he does.
Ertz can do everything you want an elite wide receiver to do. You have, hey man, y'all know my slogan. What happened when Antonio Tarver knocked out Roy Jones? What did he tell them?
Excuses.
No excuses tonight, Roy.
No
No excuses.
Right.
Trav, man, what you got for us, man?
Man, all these hills, I'm gonna be the good guy, man. I'm gonna be the good guy. I'm gonna be the
Come on, man. Come on, skinny man.
reason being, Kyler is the quarterback. Who knows what's going on in their dressing room, man? Who knows what's going on in their coach? He got a whole lot of weapons, but at the end of the day, when it all boils down to it, who's at fault when you winning and losing that game?
Yeah.
He may be getting tired of it. He may just be
I
getting
think-
tired of it.
I think he mad because his coach getting all the women. His coach like the real hunter around the
He's too,
motherfucker, so-
and here's the thing: he's too young to get that tired, but you can be mature enough to be that tired.
But
True that.
Trav, to your point though, and to John's point and to Germ's point, if he doesn't trust his offensive line, no matter where he goes, he's not going to succeed.
He's not going to succeed.
Because one of my pet peeves when it comes to football is this narrative that if a quarterback is running around, he doesn't have a good offensive line. I hate that narrative because a lot of times what you see is that offensive line, if you get him a quarterback who knows to keep his ass in the pocket, they will do what they have been coached their entire lives to do. What they were not coached to do is look for somebody to drop back 12, 15 yards. Remember, the field is 50 yards wide, okay? I played offensive line. You are not getting me to run sidelines, boy. You are not. I am not running sideline to sideline trying to protect your ass. Figure out where you want to stand and throw the damn football. All this running around, it reflects poorly on an offensive line. And a lot of times, it's like this, right? And this is, I know something about this. A lot of times when these big trucks on these highways get in accidents, the blame is on the big trucks. But these are professional drivers. Correct. A lot of these accidents are caused by pedestrian drivers on their phone, trying to think they could play big dog with a damn 18-wheeler or whatever. It's the same thing here. Do what you got to do, and the offensive line will do what they got to do. And Kyler has no patience. Very similar to who? Lamar Jackson, even though he's been improving. But is it true?
To me, that go back to how they brought up.
But I think it's
also
what
Jared been screaming about for years is how these quarterbacks are being groomed and brought up. And it brings me to this thought in general, especially when you talk about the black quarterback. And the perception, especially when they say that, they question the aptitude and all that shit, but it's like, yo, what it really come down to, who can stand in the pocket and deliver? Let's go back 30 plus years pretty much to Warren Moon. Warren Moon had to go across the border to Canada, dominate in Canada in the pocket before they brought him back to the NFL in American soil. He got violated on his own soil, Jerry. He had to go up north to violate the soil up north. You know what I'm saying? To come back down and then come back down and do his thing and get in the Hall of Fame in both. Yep. That's the kind of so when I see cats talking about it in that general, yeah, I sprung this whole conversation a whole nother way. This is how we rock in DC, y'all. This is how we fucking get down.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm seeing a whole lot of shit about quarterbacks being discriminated against, the black quarterbacks. How come they not saying this about Lamar? How come they already saying Joe Burrow is better than Patrick Mahomes? I know why. A matter of delivering from the fucking pocket. Pat Mahomes is an exception. He broke the rule.
Yep.
He's
He broke.
He's
He won
there
the
now.
ball. He won the ball out
Established it.
of the pocket.
Exactly.
But he also
Now-
still had to make throws from within it in the game.
Mhm.
And when he got beat this year,
Where was he at?
in the pocket, not delivering.
Look, man. Listen. I forget more than some cats will learn, man. I can't do it no more, man. I can't give no more game. I keep giving you the game for $3.99. But hey, look, I'm trying to give you $1 million worth of game for $3.99. I was getting ready to do it, man. I was getting ready to go Hove on it one time. You know, that still before Gene, man, that Hove status, man. It's just different, you know. But and then you got Brady on the other end. He like, I rob, I sent. Oh shit, I'm Jackie Robinson. Come on, man. You got one dude over here making things happen, and then you got another dude, other people who make excuses. And that's where we are with these quarterbacks. I don't want to hear Kyler complain, because a complaint right now is telling me two things. You don't like the state of your franchise, and you're calling your players out around you.
But
That's
if
why
I'm the quarterback,
That's why I said what I said earlier.
if I'm the quarterback and I see this talent, I don't have enough self-confidence in myself to elevate with this team. You got problems, son. You got problems. You got problems. I understand.
The offensive line is not one.
Well,
He's got to take accountability.
What my guy Aaron say on Money Talks, you got little teeny weeny problems, big fat ass problems. Either way, it is not the business, son. For real.
Yeah, facts. Absolutely. There's doers and excuse makers, man. That's it.
So actually, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do something fun. Now, I know Trav got a team. Ham, he's a heel, kind of like me. So this is the Sag energy we got here. Me and Ham are heels. We just troll all y'all and tell you all y'all teams are slow.
Slow as shit.
Slow as. But it just is.
That from the bottom of my heart, too. Go ahead.
But what's fun about this is me and Mo and Vic, we talk every week, and we always talk about like the landscape of the NFL going into the next season, because it's so fun. So I'm gonna give you guys a theory that I said in a views chat one day with the guys. I said I believe that we're gonna develop into a league where having elite wide receivers will not mean anything. It's gonna be about the other guys, meaning your tight ends and your running backs being bigger factors in the game moving forward, for teams to understand that they have to draft well in those positions. Running back and tight end is the positions we're talking. So as we talk about that, I want to know, for the state of your team that you root for currently, that you're a fan of, what would you like to see this offseason for that said team? April, I'm going to start with you. You're the resident Raider fan, one of the few resident Raider fans. What are some things you would like to see?
Oh, I want to hear this.
Yes, I'm here for this.
No, you don't want to hear anything I had to say about the Raiders, so shush. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I actually like what Mark Davis did. He actually,
what did he do?
He actually made a smart move with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. I don't know. Yeah, you heard it. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. There's something about it, but like, they cleaned house, which I was hoping for. They just brought back Rob Ryan, which I have been praying for the last 6 years. They're not on a rebuild. So I think moving forward, they have, I think Derek Carr literally has one more year with the Raiders. I think McDaniels is going to see what he can do. We need a wide receiver. I don't know. That's what I feel like. We need a wide receiver. I think we
let it all out. Let it all out.
It ain't one move though, huh, April?
It's the safe space.
Just a restructuring of a culture.
It's crazy to me because I keep seeing that McDaniels is firing everybody, which is great because I didn't like a lot of our coaches. I really didn't. Did I want to see Bisaccia stay? Yes. However, what's ever best for Oakland is going to be best for Oakland. And I just kind of like what McDaniels is doing at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. It's in the air.
Damn well your team played at the MGM Grand. You called them Oakland still. I had to. Hey,
I love
you.
Watch this. April, first and foremost, I had to make sure. They got the little temperature things now where you can see people's temperature on the screen. It read that it was 98.7. So she is healthy while she was just talking. I just want y'all to know. Now, I will be honest with you. The objectivity is beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes. Good job.
If you still mad at Josh McDaniels, don't be mad at him. Be mad at the refs. But anyway, with everything being said,
be mad at the rules.
That's what you be mad at right there. Be mad at that jackass.
But look, with everything being said, I just to give a brief overview of what I think before I look at everything, I think the Raiders do need a wide receiver. They need another guy. I do agree with you in there. I think the Raiders have to focus on being able to be consistent in the secondary. For the last 3 years, I have been saying to you, and I've been saying to Mo, and I've been saying to Vic, there is no excuse for John Abraham to have 100 tackles. That is a effing safety, bro. If I see it happen again, I'm getting rid of everybody myself. I'm sick.
We've had secondary problems since like 2016. So
I get it, but your safety should not be leading your team in tackles. That's a problem. The safety is the last line of defense. That means we need to draft linebackers. And the Raiders have done terrible with linebackers since they drafted Rolando McClain and he went to jail. Let it go. Let that hurt go.
Damn,
who hurt y'all? That y'all got to keep drafting and bringing in these slaw-ass linebackers.
Mark Davis.
Substitution players. Oh, my God. McDaniels, please save us from football purgatory. It needs to be your prayer. I will write up a prayer for you, and I'll have it to you by sundown. I'm sick of it. That being said, I'm going to go to Tanya next because Tanya's a little spoiled over here, When Tanya was coming up watching football, it was about the Cowboys, I like to say. And then you had, of course, the Steelers. And the Steelers have been a model of consistency. They're one of the few franchises that have 6 Super Bowl rings. I mean, they are a model of consistency. They have had, 3-4 coaches in their entire history?
Only 3.
I mean, what can you say to that? So she's a little spoiled and entitled over here. So I want to know things that her team needs.
Well, first of all, I want to shout out my quarterback.
Yes.
Because we still haven't done an appreciation for my quarterback, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let the Super Bowl pass
We haven't.
Before we do that. So I'm not gonna complain about it.
Appreciation stuff for the show. We'll do a show.
I'm not gonna complain about it. But I did want to shout him out. We need one. Because what we got ain't it. We need linebackers and we need corners.
Corners for sure.
We have a great running back. And we stay with receivers, so I'm not ever concerned about us not having a receiver. But I definitely want linebackers, I want corners, and I want a quarterback.
I would say this.
You take this.
They get Russell or they get Deshaun. I'm picking them to reach a Super Bowl.
And I don't think we're gonna get either one. Even as the front runner of the free Deshaun movement, I don't think we're gonna do it.
They should. Now listen, there's the rumors. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be till after the draft, which I hope if they end up deciding to hire Louis Riddick, that they do so swiftly and they bring him in the building swiftly. Because I think if they bring him in the building, it will greatly increase the chances that they will be aggressive in getting one of those two quarterbacks, because I think Lewis Riddick will come in there with a more of a modern day approach. Again, yes, the best way is to build patiently through the draft 100%, because you're building a strong foundation for 10 to 15 years that way.
Well, see, the thing is, though, I'm not a fan of anybody in this draft.
Well, no. What I'm saying is,
I'm not really too hot on anybody.
Right, and so that's what I'm getting to, is that you can build a championship team by being aggressive in free agency, and with Pittsburgh, they kind of have that perfect storm right now where they've been building, but they just need to be aggressive. If they can just be uber aggressive one time and go get one of those quarterbacks, because if I'm Mike Tomlin, I didn't even reach a Super Bowl when Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, arguably two of the most skilled players of the last 25 years, and I didn't even reach a Super Bowl. The only time we got close, we got our asses kicked by Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So if I'm Mike Tomlin, there is no way I can not reach a Super Bowl with the Killer Bees and then turn around and not reach a Super Bowl with the defensive players that they have currently. So I need to win because of this defense and nothing else. So I'm going to get a quarterback. You got Russell and you got Deshaun, and you know the interest will be there for both. You got to find a way to go get them.
Hey, by the way, Tanya, my guy Jaquan, everybody getting tipped. I got the chicken head when Jaquan come on the thing. My guy, everybody in the tipsy in the comment said hello.
Hi, brother.
With that being said, Mo, you couldn't have said that any better. So I appreciate you having my back there, buddy. I want to add one thing for Pittsburgh. If you are going to continue to play the 3-4, can we please fix the defensive line?
That's
please?
What I said.
Please?
I agree.
That's it. With that being said, I'm gonna go.
Shout out to Whataburger. They should hire me. I mean, pay me.
Yeah. So take it off the screen, Tanya. That's not doing us no good.
Well, I'm gonna talk to them tomorrow.
All right. I'm gonna go. So next, I'm gonna go to my guy Johnny here, and I'm gonna ask you, because as a Browns fan, I know it's rough. I know Look,
You a Browns fan? Oh man.
So I'm gonna let you go ahead and get it off, man. Go ahead, man.
We good at the two positions you talked about, tight end, running back. Corners, we fine. We need a wide receiver. And we need a quarterback.
Vic! I'm knocking on Vic's box right now. Pause. Vic, get down there, Vic.
Like,
so you think they need a quarterback?
Only I think Baker's good, but he don't handle pressure well. When that line breaks down, his feet get happy and the ball's off target. He makes the right read a lot of times, but the ball's not there, especially when he doesn't trust his line. When he's comfortable, he's accurate. When he doesn't trust the line, he's skittish. We've seen it the last year. He was comfortable with the line. He played great, got to the playoffs. The year before that, he wasn't comfortable. Inaccurate, overthrows, bad decisions. Who do we get? I don't know.
My, look what the wind just blew in.
So, Mr. Santana.
You better unmute. Vic is coming live from the dungeon, yo.
Yo, this is about to be the funniest exchange ever.
Oh, man.
First of all, Vic came on here looking like French Montana. Not good enough for me.
Right.
Loving with you. Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Hey, look. First of all, Johnny admitted, Vic, that he feels that Cleveland needs a quarterback.
Okay.
Now,
so first and foremost, who are we replacing him with?
I was just getting to that. I don't know who. I don't know if it's possible. We can try. We could try to go for Deshaun. I think we could offer him a really good package. We could try to go for Russ. I don't know. But I'm not now. Hold on. I'm not saying get rid of him for the sake of getting rid of him. If we can't upgrade, keep it everything the same. Everybody come back.
So I mean, we're gonna agree with that, right? Because like I told you, there's levels to that position, right? So Deshaun, if you could get Deshaun, shit, by all means, let's do it. If you could get Russ, let's do it.
Right.
But other than that, if you can tell me, I don't know, Case Keenum.
No. I don't want Kirk. I don't want. I don't want to move linear. Like it's upgrade or just stay where we at.
Right. So here's my thing. Here's my thing. Right. I thought that Baker was the best quarterback in his class. I think that the first year for him to come in and to take an 0-16 team and to give you a nice 7-8 wins that next year, I think that says a lot about the quarterback. The energy that he brought, he was healthy. Let's bring that to the table. Torn labrum, dislocated shoulder joint, all of that stuff. That's a factor. So he brought new energy to the Cleveland Browns as an organization. Somebody turn Germ's camera off, please. Somebody turn that thing off. Somebody press the button for him. So when you and then like a lot of the throws that he was making with that small frame that he has, like he has an impressive arm velocity. The accuracy is there, obviously, when he's technically sound. This is a player that struggles with his fundamentals, and we see that. You know, when his fundamentals are on, he's an outstanding player. When it's inconsistent, that's when he regresses. So for me, going into his 5th year, right? Is this his 5th year? On the contract?
Yeah.
For me, I'm giving him one more year, guaranteed one more year. Unless you could upgrade to those guys that we know are in the elite class, I'm giving him that one more year on his rookie deal. Then we talk about moving on. He's going to be healthy, hopefully. And for me, Jonathan, as we're going to refer to you as John, or is that okay?
Yeah, that's cool. John, cool.
Yeah. So for me, bro, like, I think the play calling was awful. First and foremost, like for them to have a higher pass to run ratio is not good for a team that has the best offensive line in football with the best stable of running backs.
Yeah.
Then you expose your injured quarterback with that. How are you supposed to win games like that? I need Chubb and those guys to get their 30 touches and then let Baker play off of that. You know, his scrambling to the right or play action, rolling left and right, showing off his velocity and his accuracy. Now we're talking about the rhythm that they have. This is a kid that was one play away from an AFC championship last year. And now we're trying to replace him. I'm not with that. Now, again, if he was on his 2nd contract and he's playing this bad, then I got you. I understand. But his one more year rookie contract, all the things that you put this stuff together, I think he deserves one more year at it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, one more year if you can't upgrade. Right. Also, I do feel you on the play caller. I don't believe we adjusted to the adjustments like we should have.
Yes.
For as many 3 tight ends sets we run, and none of them chip blocked in that Pittsburgh game, was the most upsetting thing I've ever seen.
Bro, the 13 personnel for them, the 13 personnel for German and I talk about this all the time, especially for the Buccaneers. The 13 personnel, like there's not many teams that can stop that personnel. So if you have 3 tight ends that can pass, catch, and block with those running backs and that offensive line, how is that not a staple of your at least 10 plays a game? Not 2 or 3. Come on, man. Give me 10 plays a game, and you could change the rhythm of a football game with that personnel.
I mean, but the problem is Kevin Stefanski's decisions trump ours, and that's why the Browns, when it came to the playoffs, they said bye then.
Right.
Yo, I hate this dude, yo.
I'm sick of you, yo. I'm sick of you.
Y'all see how I used the presidents and that and made it an entendre? Like, that's crazy.
So listen, the thing is, like, if Baker comes in and has a decent year, but the play calling is still shit, do we give up on him?
See,
you know what I mean?
I like what y'all saying there with that, but I'm gonna say this though, and then I'll pass it back to y'all to wrap up y'all final thoughts on it. Stefanski can be part of the problem, but then when the right play call is made and he doesn't make the play, that makes him a part of the problem.
Yes. Yes.
Because he was
course.
just coach of the year last year. So how bad is he?
That's a great point too.
Right,
That's a
right.
great
I
point.
get that, but my point was he didn't adjust to the adjustments.
Right.
You won coach of the year. As you can see, teams caught on to what we were doing, but I didn't see the adjustments to the adjustments.
And just
We can
just
start
that's
off hot and then we don't score a point in the second half.
and that's a great point, Tanya. But on the flip side of that is he probably won coach of the year because of how they went from such a basement franchise to all of a sudden, the trajectory looking up for them. So maybe that helped him and it didn't expose some of the issues.
Can I ask everybody here? I'm gonna ask everybody individually. Were we more impressed last year by Kevin Stefanski or Brian Flores? Even though the Dolphins were one game out of the playoffs,
Brian Flores.
April, do you agree or disagree?
I liked Brian Flores.
Okay. So when he won, he only won because the Browns made it to the playoffs, bro. He wasn't the better coach than Brian Flores that year.
No, he was not.
You talk about a dude who had 3 first-round picks. Vic, remember, he had 3 first-round picks that year. If you got 3 first-round picks, my dude, you was in the basement. Like, come on, dog. That means we was in the basement stuff. Hey, Trav, they had a lawn sale out there. They was, you can take him and him and him.
Right.
Hey, Minka, you want to go to Pittsburgh? Here you go. Tanya, remember? Tanya was one of the people who
to Texas.
Pick. Hey, bye.
I did. They pick. I sure did.
They said Biden. Like, hey,
Jarvis to the Browns. Like it was throwing away everybody.
Anyway, real quick, John, I got to get back to the cooking real quick, but no, it's a pleasure to have you on and stuff like that. Just
he'll be around. He's gonna be around for scouting season, so don't worry, Vic.
Okay, yeah, no, cool. I'm with it. So again, for me, the injuries, the play calling, it's just too many things to kind of give up on the kid. Yeah. I think that physically he can compete, and you know what I mean. So I give him one more year, and if he's healthy and playing average, then we're gonna have to move on.
Right. I mean, with all due respect, they wasn't in the basement this year either.
Right. Right.
Okay,
so
Tanya.
It's still looking up, Germ.
They weren't in the basement this year.
Hey, Trav, you know what this is. You know
Baltimore.
So
Tanya be giving the most shade compliments ever in the history of mankind.
Hey, listen, she should work for Aftermath. So everything going on right now, John,
shady Aftermath. Lord.
With that being said, though, Jay, is there anything else that you want to add, or any other team that you root for, or anything like that you want to bring out there before I get to my guy Trav?
Oh no, we're not even gonna talk about the other team I root for. We just
that must mean it's like the Cowboys or something.
It's like the Falcons or some shit.
No, it's the Giants.
Oh
yeah.
Wait. So you a Browns fan and a Giants fan?
Okay, so like Michael Strahan was like one of my favorite players of all time.
I got you. Oh,
And then
I
started rocking with Eli, so I was like, I might as well stay here. Then they got Saquon. I was like, yeah, and then it's been all downhill.
Hey man, I'm a Patriots and Spurs fan.
He doesn't
by
know.
heart.
Hey,
that's a boring combination.
I don't know, damn, Tanya.
No, it just be so much going on.
Yo, hey, what April called them the Buccaneers?
Yes.
There's so much going on.
I know a lot of people with Bucks and Patriots jerseys out here.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Hey,
and he is. He literally is.
I'm proud of it.
He very much is one of them.
Look at Big Bro, man. What's up, bro?
What's up, man? Hey, if we talking about teams, you know it start and it ends with them Bears, man.
That's my dog. That's my dog.
Look. So Big Bro, I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm gonna let you jump on and talk your talk. What would you like to see the Bears do, man?
Win some games. We gotta win some games, man. We gotta I would like to see them. I need development out of Justin Fields first and foremost. I think defensively, I think we'll be fine. I think we got ballers on defense. I feel like defensively we'll be fine. I think we hired a very good defensive coordinator. You know, the jury's still out on the new head coach. So we'll see. Right? We need an offensive minded guy. You know, because I just, you know, for the life of me, I will never get how we fired two guys named Matt and Ryan, only to hire two guys named Matt and Ryan at the same positions. So it's going to be a very interesting year in Chicago. I'm hoping we can keep Allen Robinson. But it goes back to what you were saying earlier in the show. We didn't have big play receivers like that, and because Allen Robinson really wasn't getting the ball. I mean, just because he had to play with, you know, 3 different quarterbacks all year, and you know, Justin Fields was kind of rushed into that spot. But I mean, it goes back to what you were saying about, you know, are we going to draft or get high level tight ends and running backs and you know, the draft and free agency. So, you know, I'm very I'm speaking life into the Chicago Bears this 2022 football season. You know, I really don't have a choice. That's the only team I root for. Outside of the Steelers because of Mike Tomlin. Shout out to Lovely Smith.
Yeah.
And Mike McDaniel. Shout out to Mike McDaniel.
I'm not doing
this. Shout out to the new Miami Dolphins coach. Yeah, so I'm glad to you know, but nah, shout out to Mike Tomlin and Lovey Smith, man. You know, that's what I don't want to see change. That's what I want to see in 2022 and this next season. I want to see more diversity in the hiring of GMs, head coaches, and offensive coordinators. I'm going to make that very clear. Offensive coordinators.
Yes.
And I want to see more black backup quarterbacks.
All right. See. I knew we was gonna end somewhere around in that range.
It is still Black History Month.
With that being said, the Bears are in a very, very interesting spot because I think you really don't have much to do. Some corners would be nice, you know what I'm saying? Obviously to help, but I think you're in a good spot with a lot of things that you have. Justin Fields getting better is going to be a lot of things that happen with the offense. As the quarterback gets better, so does the rest of the offense in a lot of different cases. So that'll be that. Let's just see what they decide to do with the offensive line. That's going to be the key. Because that is going to be what determines what running backs are where and that type of thing. And the running backs that they have a stable of a couple of guys who can go. So let's just see what happens. As far as tight ends, they had about 10 of them at the beginning of last season. So, I mean, I think it's time that you try out the other 5 or something because the 5 that they start, yeah, something like that. Now we got Trav and the Bucks. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Y'all done sit up here and made me pull out a grocery list for y'all. Much needed. Much needed. As the still reigning Super Bowl champs until the end of today's Super Bowl, we still champs through the
That's right, Trav. That's right.
He's still the champs till we ain't the champs no more. But in all seriousness, man, first thing I want to address for the Tampa Bay is our secondary. Y'all know how I feel about Davis and Dean. They ain't it. We got to do something better than that. I'm tired of fussing at them, man. Tired of them folks giving me a headache, man.
Every week is damn Dean.
Damn Dean or Davis up there talking like he done something.
Hey,
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. Davis cost us the NFC that they playoff game because he had the interception in the end zone. He dropped it.
He did drop.
He dropped it.
So watch
But
this.
I'm
Trav.
not. But
Dean ain't shit.
Dean ain't shit, man. We know this.
Every week.
We know this.
Every week.
We know this. But yeah, Dean, our secondary, we got it. We got to get better. We got to get better, and we need depth in it too because we've been getting injured. That comes with the second thing, health. We got to stay healthy. Especially we got to sign 14 back. We got to sign 14 back since I'll talk about that a little later, but we got to sign 14 back. He need to get healthy. All of us need to get healthy. Trenton Wirfs need to get healthy. Everybody needs to get healthy because as y'all seen last year, when we got healthy, we was the best team, run off 8 straight, win the Super Bowl. Third, head coach / culture. The energy that our head coach put out, man, we can't have it. And that's messing up a culture. Me, honestly, get rid of Bruce Arians and let Byron Leftwich be the head coach of the team. I'm glad Byron Leftwich didn't even take that job at Jacksonville, especially if it's the demands that he want with that idiot in Jacksonville as the GM. I wouldn't want to go there either. But,
I wouldn't even want the Jacksonville job.
But hey, that's that on that. But head coach with the culture. And last but not least, I want this guy right here.
Fab, you know good and damn well I ain't got no glasses on. What the hell is that?
That's number 4 from the Houston Texans.
It look like Willie Beeman.
Yes, Willie Beeman /
No, I
Deshaun
can't see
Jackson.
that.
That's Deshaun Watson. I mean,
I was gonna say, don't do him.
Deshaun Watson. I need Deshaun Watson.
Willie
I like Russ, but I just like the youth and the talent that this man brings. Hey man, we got masseuses all in Clearwater and Tampa. They ain't gonna tell it. They ain't gonna tell it.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Come on, man. We got you.
In Florida, they got on the door. It says what you get.
Hey,
The door got curtains on it. What you think is happening?
They like. Have y'all watched He Got Game when Chick Jesus Shuttlesworth told him like, hey, they be knocking on your door 3:00 in the morning. They do that. They're not gonna tell it.
Mute him.
It's a safe haven
Mute him.
in Tampa, Clearwater, Florida. You are more than welcome. You see what Tom Brady done? You can do the same thing too, man. Come on, Deshaun. We here, man. We here for you.
I just want you to know the fact that y'all have sat here and really said this out loud on the airwaves. We do not here at the scene like to disclose this type of gross sexual acts.
Thank you. Thank you. Get him out of here.
Well,
it's legal in like 38 countries.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, I just want you to understand happy ending massages should not be televised. They should be. That's that thank you. Come again. Thank you. With everything being said, don't look at me like that. With everything being said, though, y'all, we got like 5 minutes left in the show. Is there any like final thoughts throughout the panel? Actually, Trav, I'm gonna start with you, man, because you waited so patiently. And any final thoughts? Super Bowl predictions?
To be honest, I just want a good Super Bowl, man. I want to see the young cat win, but I think this is gonna be the second time in a row for the Rams, man. I mean, second time that a team that's in the Super Bowl is hosting it in they home. It's an advantage. It's comfort. You ain't got to move. Only thing you got to do is have your quarterback be ready. We seen what happened last year. Can Stafford do it this year? He's been rolling. Let's see what happens. But overall, I just want to see a good competitive Super Bowl. And hey, man, we're going to have fun today, man.
All right. I'm going to go to April next, Mrs. Buccanetrians, the originator.
That's classic. Yeah. I agree with Trav. I want to see a really good game. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be the Rams. I want to see Matt Stafford actually. I want to see him lead the Rams. I mean, it's exciting. It's just exciting. That poor guy was with a losing organization for so long. It's nice to see. I don't know. I'm taking the Rams. I'm taking the Rams by like 6. So we'll see. And I'm just excited for the halftime show. That's all I'm saying. If you see me crib walking, Joan at me.
Should I save her? I want to be saved. You gotta hit that jump. Look, so Tanya, any final thoughts there?
Y'all know I have always loved Matt Stafford. Give me the Rams 35-28.
It's a shootout a little bit.
But
this game is gonna be wild.
I don't really have any. I'm hyped for the halftime myself. My old life would have me crip walking. I can't put that on here though, because that's my past life. But that's really it as far as this game goes. Y'all know I love Matt Stafford. He's my fantasy quarterback for a very long time, even with the Lions, unfortunately. But yeah, I like Joe Burrow, which is rare because, I shouldn't. But I do for some reason. I really do. I don't think they do it this year, but I think they do within the next year or two. But I just don't think it will be this year. But I can see them back. I can see them coming back.
All right, Johnny. Now, this is obviously your debut on the scene, live on the scene. Get your cameras out. You on the scene. So, I mean, bro, you can wrap up and you can also shout out your podcast and everything like that as well, bro. Because this is across,
Yes,
this is that the J&J collaboration,
As far as the Super Bowl, I think the X factor in this is going to be the Bengals offensive line. They've had struggles all year. We've seen that. I mean, he got sacked 9 times against Tennessee, and you're going up against Aaron Donald. That's not a good recipe. So if they can hold up, I think Cincinnati's got a real chance. But I don't know about that. I'm gonna go Rams. I think you got a lot of hungry people over there in LA. Aaron Donald wants his first one. Jalen wants his first one. Vaughn wants another one. He'd love to rub that in the face of Denver. You know what I'm saying? They gave up on him. He didn't give up on them. So it's a lot of motivated people over there in LA. Stafford want to cement his legacy. He's always been the empty stats guy. You know what I'm saying? So now he get to put his name up there with the big boys. So I'm gonna go Rams. And yes, as far as my podcast, I do a podcast with my boys over. Follow us on YouTube at A Right to Create. It's called Elephant in the Room. We go over various things as far as culture-wise, sports. We touch on a little bit of everything.
All right, man. So, Mo, is there anything you want to say?
I just want to shout out everybody who's been rocking with us all year. Thank you for Jonathan for jumping on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a great game. And Views from the 22, we got a lot planned for the off season as usual. Hoping to be more involved this year. So it's going to be great. We got a little surprise. We should be covering the draft from the draft, but we'll see how these next couple of weeks go. And just shout out to everybody. Views from the 22, baby. Live on the scene.
With that being said, man, final thoughts for the day. We appreciate everybody for jumping on. Appreciate all the love and the energy. Most importantly, man, enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy it. Last football game of the year for a little while. It is what it is, unless you watch that lingerie league, and that's I don't know if I want to watch that. Yeah, I said it out loud. I did. Should you save him? I don't want to be saved. With that being said, this is Views from the 22 collaboration with the big guys that's at the scene, which we are those big guys too. With that being said, Germ So True, Mo Schefter, Vic Jr., we got my guy Jonathan, we got April, we got First Lady, we got Trav, Ham, Coach Lester Stewart also dropped by. Views from the 22, man, we out.